Hey friends, this is the Miss Wolfie from our Half Acre Homestead. Well, today we're canning celery. So here's my washed and rinsed jars, rings, and lids. Here is my celery. I've given it another wash and now it's going to be blanched. Here I have a half a stock pot of water come to a boil, and you know what? I'm going to start by putting this in by hand so that I don't try and spill it. Gracie, look out, honey. I don't want to splash you. Go, Grace. Alright, this makes this a little bit more manageable. And then we will very carefully pour the rest of this in. Trying not to spill it all over the place. Not too bad. Now, we are going to put the lid on this and we're going to simmer this for 3 minutes. While that's simmering, I want to give you a little history while I wipe my counter. I got a lot of flack when I first canned celery because there was no documentation on canning it. It used to be a summer food, like a salad. It was something you only ate in season. But just because there's no documentation on canning it, it doesn't mean it can't be canned. Why? It's a vegetable. No different than beans or carrots or anything else, right? Now, secondly, why do we can some celery? I like having canned celery or jarred celery for, say, when I'm making a Thanksgiving turkey and I want to put it in the stuffing. I don't necessarily want to put a lot of raw vegetables in the stuffing. Why? Because raw vegetables give off a lot of moisture. And if they're already cooked, then they're just going to, they're not going to soggy up your stuffing. Any kind of scalloped potatoes or anything where you don't want to have to cook it first, right? You just kind of want to put it in a casserole and warm it up. Trust me, it's worth having in the pantry. So we'll be back when this has been percolating. Want to bring it up to a boil. Well, not necessarily a rolling boil, just a simmer. And once it comes back up to a simmer, that means it's bubbling gently. We'll time it for 3 minutes. Alrighty, it's been at 3 minutes. So I'm going to very carefully take this over to the sink and strain it, and then we will be back. Thank you, God. I didn't want to get burnt again. Alrighty, now I'm going to put my canner onto the burner. It has the required amount of water in the bottom and a rack and a splash of vinegar to keep my jars from clouding. And over here I have my tea. Careful, Bev. Even boiling water these days. My kettle isn't big enough, so I just boiled some water in a stock pot. So here we go. Now, I'm going to do my little squat half pints first. I actually should do my pints first, but I'm not sure how much I'm going to have. So I'm going to do my little half pint here. Fill it up to 1 inch from the top. So I'm going to put just a little bit of salt. Doesn't need a lot. I just put like a 1/4 teaspoon. And I'm going to top it up to 1 inch from the top. I always put in a little bit more than 1 inch for the simple reason once you debubble, it knocks things down inside the jar. Always debubble. Always, always, always wipe your rim and your threads with a clean damp paper towel. on goes a clean lid and ring, and into the canner that goes. All right, so I have a canner full. In the bottom, I have 10 half pints, and here I have 9 pints. And I still have this much left over, but this I can put in the freezer, the fridge freezer, and use it up over the next few weeks in different meals. So that's not a problem because it's already blanched. So, we're gonna put our lid on, and it's already starting to spout a nice stream of steam. So, as soon as this starts to spout a good, firm, steady stream of steam, I'm going to vent it for 10 minutes. Now, all the other videos were done with half pints, but we can pints at 35 minutes. Anything smaller than pints, we can as pints. So that's why the time doesn't change. But if you were for some wild reason wanting to do this in quarts, I'd say 45 to 50 minutes. Okay, our timer has gone off, and on goes our 10-pound weight. And as soon as that produces its first vigorous jiggle, I'm going to set my timer for 35 minutes. And there goes our first vigorous jiggle. Gracie, stop it. I'm talking to the camera, nobody else. I'm going to turn this down to just between medium and maximum, and so that this doesn't freak out too often. And now I'm going to set my timer for 35 minutes. Our timer has gone off, so I'm just going to go ahead and turn the canner off, and I'm going to let it cool down naturally until it is at least safe enough for me to touch the sides and hold my hands there for 5 seconds without discomfort. Okay? Stop it. So when this is all cooled down, I'll show you my celery. There they are, all 19 jars ready to go, be labeled and go in the pantry. This is the Miss Wolfie from our half-acre homestead saying when you got lots of celery, dehydrate it, put it in your canned soups and stews, or just can it for itself if you want to make a casserole, leaving all your options open. Take care. God bless.